Well, hello again. This time, we are not here to let you know all the particulars about a particular binocular. We're actually here to ask your help. Any of you guys out there, I mean, this is certainly not going to be for the average person that's going to be searching for this thing, because I don't think most people will be searching for it. I'm only hoping that you guys out there know something about it. Uh, this is an oddball. My wife and I were watching a documentary about a wonderful resort that Marlon Brando started. It's called the Brando, out in the French Polynesian Islands. And I was just in a mood. While we're watching it, I'm just thumbing through eBay. I see this thing, and it's just so odd. And the guy's comments on it are so intriguing. Essentially, he's pitching it as the rarest of the rare. I contact him and try and find out some particulars, and that's all he can tell me, is that it's an extremely rare binocular. He doesn't know much about it other than it's incredibly sharp. Well, sharpness is what I'm into, so it wasn't that expensive, and he cut me a deal on top of it, just because somehow he just needed the money and needed to unload everything he had. I wound up with this. This is a Tasco World Class Plus. I've heard of World Class, but I've never heard of World Class Plus. It's a 7x50 Poro. And what intrigued me, as soon as I saw the picture of it, was that it has no ocular bridge. Whatever adjustments you're getting, it's all being done internally. And it had a number of very interesting features. For instance, BAK4 prisms. And it says here, fully coated optics. I'm going, oh, well, fully coated, not quite multi-coated. And then it says plus multi-coating. What? I don't know what's what. I don't know what element has what coating. It's listed as 420 feet at 1,000 yards. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's essentially 8 degrees. This is a 7x50 with 8 degrees of field. Some kind of funky internal focusing. And it's central focus. I'm thinking, wow, that's an interesting combination of features. And the guy's saying it's incredibly sharp. All right, we'll give it a shot. I get it in, and here's the results of it. And we'll just get this right out of the way. At 60 yards, not 50, at 60 yards, in the better orientation, so I'm getting the good evening, late afternoon light. I tested this against the Orion Resolux, and it outperformed it. This thing, I did not have the old 7x50 Fuji on to make an actual side-by-side comparison, because I sent it back. Wasn't quite happy with it, but if you want to go back to that review, you'll find out that I did notice that it may be, and I thought it was because of the transparency of the unit, which was fabulous. It seemed to maybe have up to half of an element greater sharpness. It resolved the same thing that the Orion Resolux did, except that it just stood out slightly better. You know what? This thing surpassed it. This is a Tasco, and I was seeing group -1, element 2 easily. Element 1 looked as sharp as the Fujinon ever was able to let me see it. Quite amazing. Now, what's not amazing about it, I don't know if you guys... Well, here we go. I've never seen a binocular that has essentially no depth of field. None. Central sharpness, incredible, but no depth of field. I mean, you have to focus on absolutely everything you want to see. every time you adjust the focus, it actually appears like your objects are increasing or decreasing in size. Very bizarre. Only 50% sweet spot. It does give you the 8 degrees though, and the image when you have it in focus is incredible. Really, really sharp with lovely color. To me, to my eyes, kind of an enriched greenish, yellowish enrichment of color. I mean, it was a little biased towards that. The central focus is way, way too sensitive. I mean, it's about as precise and finicky as I've ever run into. The slightest motion, and you're in or out of focus. But when you do get it in focus, oh my gosh, it's incredible. But, you know, it's light, it's handy, it's a lot easier to tote around than the Orion. But, again, kind of a, you know, it's a little frustrating because it's hard to perfectly focus on your object, and anything in between you and it and anything beyond it, it's not in focus. It's just not. Very bizarre. The diopter is located out here on the right-hand bell. Works just fine. But yeah, a real oddball. I had to find out about it. I wanted to know what in the world this thing was about. I contacted Tasco. I went to their records department. I talked to a lady named Mary who was pretty much heading it up, and she was very excited about helping me find out everything I could find out about this thing, how many were made and when. She even was excited because her stepdad, she said, was a collector, and he probably would be able to throw in and help some too. And the result of that search was no callback. None. And when I called her later to ask, well, did you find anything? What's going on? She wouldn't talk to me. And one of her associates stepped in and did the communicating and basically said, Tasco has no information on this binocular. We have no records. And this is after she had initially told me, what you have is something extremely rare. In all the years that it was produced, which I don't think she had an accurate number there. She's talking something like 20 years of production. I don't think that was right. But she was saying within that period of production for this particular model, not world class, but world class plus, they probably made about 1,000 units. That seems pretty rare to me. And that's basically it, guys. I mean, I'm going to hold on to it just because at this point, I'm kind of having to agree with what the guy was saying when he sold it to me. First of all, yeah, it's remarkably sharp. But I mean, he did say it was the rarest of the rare, and I wasn't able to get anything more out of him. I haven't got anything out of Tasco. So I guess I'm appealing to anybody out there, any of you guys. Primarily those who have been generous enough to subscribe to this channel. If you've got some input, any information on this thing, I need it. I have nothing on this other than a really bizarre unit. That's basically it, guys. I'll show you some pictures now. But honestly, if you guys can write in with any information on this, really appreciate it. And thank you. I'm thanking you. And that's it for now. Bye.